Hello, it's Grace Marshall here, and it's the start of National Conversation Week. So I just wanted to share with you one idea today to start a really productive conversation with somebody that you work with. So today the question is this: if you could tell me one thing about yourself to help me understand how you work best and how we can work better together, what would that thing be? Now, if you take that question and ask that of somebody you work with, whether that's a client or a colleague, see what comes back. Because I think quite often we work in a way that suits us, and how we work may not be the same as how somebody else works. We are all different, and productivity is inherently personal. So understanding how somebody else might work best can help you to work better with them. But also, if somebody else understands how you work best, then it can also help to minimize conflict and enable better communication and better collaboration. So for example, my husband is dyslexic. So if he's able to let his colleagues know, hey, do you know what? If you send me a really long email, there's a chance that I might misread it. So if it's long and I don't think I'm going to get everything straight, I'm going to pick up the phone to make sure I get the full picture, because I want to understand what you're trying to tell me here. For me, I'm somebody who thinks out loud in conversation. So what I often say to my colleagues is, look, if you want me to give you my kind of highlight, if you want a very short summary in a very short amount of time, give me the questions up front and tell me how much time I've got. So if it's Grace, I want your 3-minute take on something, I'm going to need some time to think about that before I tell you. But if it's just, hey Grace, can I run something by you? Can I pick your brains on a topic? There's no preparation you need to do. Then actually that's when I do my best thinking. Because I do my best thinking, if you ask me something, I'll tell you what I think, but then I'll listen to what you have to say about it. And you might go, oh, that's interesting, because that makes me think about this subject. And I'll go, well, that's, here's what I think about that. So if you're interviewing me, for example, and you say, oh, Grace, what are your top 3 tips on productivity? I won't have a decent answer for you. I will have a really rubbish answer for you. But if you ask me specific situations, if you talk about, do you know what, I'm a writer and I find that I always procrastinate right at the beginning of the day, or how do I start the day well if I'm not a morning person? And if you tell me those stories and those situations, I'll be able to give you a much better answer. So I know that I'm a conversation builder. That's how I work best, is if I say something, you tell me what that makes you think, and I can tell you what I think of that, and that's the way I can build my best ideas. So if I tell that to a colleague, that way they can know if they want a quick answer from me, they need to ask me the question first and let me think about it, then I'll come up with a summary. But if they want kind of my best ideas, and they're happy to form those ideas as we go along, then invite me into a conversation and let's build that conversation as we go. Another example in terms of different working styles, I sometimes go to a community centre in the north end of the town where I live to do some co-working there, and a friend that I often see there, she's we're complete opposites in terms of the introvert-extrovert scale. So one thing she will often say to me is, look, I might just disappear behind my headphones now, and also because she's very sensitive to her surroundings as well, so auditory, she's quite sensitive, and also she just needs her space. So she'll say things like, oh, I'm just going to disappear behind my headphones for a while to get this next piece of work done. And that's great, because that lets me know that's what she needs in order to work well. On the other hand, I'm an extrovert, and I'm very well aware that if I'm around friends or other people who are introverts, I might get too loud. I might talk too much. That's a very easy thing for me to do. But the other thing about me is that I'm also very straightforward. So I would much rather you tell me straight than for me to have to guess or pick up on hints. So I often say to my introvert friends, listen, if I talk too much, just tell me to shut up, because I'm really happy for you to tell me, and I won't be offended, and in fact you'll be really helping me, because then I will know where I stand with you. So those are some conversations that I have had with co-workers, with colleagues, with friends, that have helped me to have a better working relationship. I'd love to know what you'd love a co-worker to know about you, or what you'd love a client to know about you. So if I asked you that question, how do you work best? If there's one thing you could tell me to help me understand how you work best, what would you tell me? But also take that question and start a conversation with somebody that you work with and see what they tell you. I'd love to know what comes from your conversation, so feel free to comment, but also feel free to come on over to my website, grace-marshall.com, and sign up to join the Really Productive Conversation if you'd like to continue getting regular productivity prompts from me directly into your inbox. So let me know what you think, and I'll speak to you again soon.